Okay, everyone. Hello, happy Tuesday, and welcome to another episode of this. Hi, how are you? So, as promised last week, I've decided to do a video on vendor tables. So, as you can see, I have set up just a kind of regular vendor table here in my living room, and we're going to talk a little bit about things that I've found that are useful in the conventions and such that I've done. So, let's get started, all right? So, the first thing we got to talk about is the table itself. Also, I'm really sorry if this turns out to be really shaky. I'm filming on my cell phone and I'm trying to keep it as smooth as possible, but we are going to be walking around a little bit, so be prepared, and I'm sorry. Again, uh, first thing we got to talk about is the table itself. Most conventions that you will end up doing, they provide the tables, but you're going to end up doing other things as well. You're going to do street festivals, you're going to do flea markets, you're going to do other things that take place in parking lots, and you need your own table for that. This is just one of those plastic fold up tables. You can get these things crazy cheap secondhand, and it doesn't matter if the top of it has permanent marker on it or anything, or if it's scuffed up, because obviously you're going to be covering it. You see it's covered. So I've got a black tablecloth on it. This is a 6 foot long table, and I've got the black tablecloth on it. And then the second most important thing is signage. So I've got this banner kind of draped across. Author Robert Ford made this. He's so talented and he's just awesome. And so it says, Summer Cannon, sick, twisted, might be your mom, which I think is fitting. But signage is very important. And actually, I may invest in more as time goes on. A lot of other authors will put up signage back behind their table. It's just sometimes we get kind of stuffed into corners. We don't have a whole lot of space around and behind us for signage. And while the back stuff is a really good idea, and again, I may get some myself, this for your table is a great idea. Now, we got to talk about, and this is for, if you do vending for anything, this could be useful. This is mostly for people who do books. So as you can see, I've got this big stand, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to count it, I'm sorry. It's got 4 tiers on it. And the way it works is you kind of have to stagger the way the books are put in, but it's a great way to display. Another thing that's really great are these stands. And it's just a little stand like this. Sometimes they're sold as plate stands for decorative plates. Serves the same purpose right there. And, you want a little bit of decor. It varies from vendor to vendor about how much chintz they want around. There are some vendors that go absolutely crazy and it works. Their tables are so eye-catching and they get people stopping just to look at all the craziness on their tables. I tend to be a little more low-key. Again, that's something that may change in the future, but you want a little bit of decor. All right, something else you want. This, I don't have any candy, so I've got cookies. You want some sort, and in times of COVID, in times of pandemic, this can be a little dicey, but let's dare to hope that things will get better. And you want a dish with something that will make people stop. It may not make people want to buy your stuff, but I'm telling you, I've brought people to my table just because they couldn't pass up a free Tootsie Pop. In past years, is there a cat under this table? In past years, we've also had like little play jewelry and stuff for the kids to come by, because if the kids stop, the parents stop, and they end up kind of browsing, which is a good idea. Another thing that you want, if you're selling books, you have to have bookmarks, and you want to have your info on it. So you've got this awesome guy right here, and then all my info is on the back. You can find me anywhere from a bookmark. And people, I'm telling you, these go. Now, some authors will make bookmarks special to their books. So I could have had like a Killer Chronicles bookmark or a Hagwitch, because look how amazing these covers are. Not that all the other covers are crazy. Cat, oh my God. But what you end up doing is, unless you're only putting out one book every 1 or 2 years, you're going to end up with a lot of bookmarks that are just on the same book. And as a new book comes out, that's the one you want to be pushing more. You want to be pushing out your newer releases, and you're still putting out bookmarks from previous books. So just kind of cool looking ones with your info on it. I think that's a better way to go. But I mean, do what you want to do, of course. This is just what I found works for me. Something else you really, really need to have is signage talking about prices. I've found, there's my fingers. I have found that it is a better idea to do bundle deals when you have a whole bunch of books like this. Like, look at that. You'll sell more if you offer a bundle. So $10 each, 3 for $25. People will take advantage of that. If you don't want to do the bundle deal, don't do the bundle deal, but you want to display pricing. Now, if you've worked retail, you will understand people will still ask. With this big thing right here, right next to the books, people will still ask how much are these. That's just the nature of it. All right, so there's our table. So let's move around to the back. Here we go, around to the back, because there's stuff you got to have back here. First of all, offer bags. You can get these just simple paper bags in bulk. And especially if you're doing a table with another author. And this is something you'll want to consider too, because I've spread a lot of this out. Like usual vendor tables at conventions are, I think 8 feet long. They're longer than this table. So there's more room. But you have to account, like vendor tables can be kind of expensive. And for book vendors, we don't always make, during the selling of our wares, we don't always make back the price of the table. So it's a good idea to sort of ameliorate that cost by splitting it with another author. So you can have two. I like to use this big center thing here to share with the author. So we have in the center our books together, and then on each side, like I usually table with Wesley Southard. So his books will be over here on these little stands, and then I'll have some of my books over here on these little stands. And it's just, it's a good idea to think about. But we're going back. Bags. They will thank you for it, especially at conventions where a lot of books are being sold and there's actual book buyers there. There's going to be a lot of conventions where there aren't book buyers there. They're there for Funko Pops and candy, and that's fine. You know, you still meet one or two cool people. But at conventions like Scares That Care, where there is a strong presence of book buyers, you want to offer bags. They'll come to your table just for the bags. Trust me. All right. So this is all stuff just for you that you want to have. You want to have, this is gum. You want to have gum because you want to make sure you stay at your table. I can't tell you how many people will get a vendor's table, set up their books, and never stay at the table. It's baffling. So yes, hand sanitizer. Yes, antibacterial wipes, and let's go ahead and get to that. Because you can't just have cash. You do want to have cash. And one slightly important thing about cash is you can make the rule to not accept large bills. I want to bring this up because a fellow author one time did a very big convention, and the first night of the convention, someone bought one book off of him and gave him a $100 bill and used up all of the cash that he had brought to make change. And that Saturday, the very next day, when he went to go to the bank to try to get more change, all the banks were closed. So I would urge you to make the rule to not accept large bills. Don't accept anything bigger than a 20. 5s and 1s are what you want to keep on hand. That should do you just fine. But you also want to have a card reader. This is the chip reader. This is the square. That's what it's called. This is the chip reader, and this is the swipe thing. And now a lot of cell phones don't have the earphone jack. Is it going to focus? Yep, earphone jack. But converter. This was really cheap. It was like $4. So yeah, I can still use it because not all cards have chips. Not everybody has cash. This comes in handy, but they're going to be using your phone to make the transaction. That's what this is for. Wipe down your phone. You're also going to need some Tylenol. I usually have it, and I end up handing it out to other vendors because sitting at that table all day, it kind of starts to get a little stressful. Not hectic, but it's not the most fun job on the planet, trying to get people to please, please, please stop at your table. You need a notebook because you want to keep track of sales. You want to keep track of how many books you have. It's just easier this way. So when you come home from your convention, you're not having to do a big tally. It's just easier that way. And this is just your emergency bag. I've got extra pens in here. So you want to bring multiple pens. I've got metallic Sharpies in here because people will bring weird things for you to sign. It's amazing. Like, it's wonderful. But you're not just signing books. And speaking of which, you are going to be signing lots of books, and I need you to listen to me, okay? I need you to rely on my experience here. Oh, it's upside down. The Uniball Signo. And which way is it going to go? Ah! And the Pilot. These pens are the best for signing books. Hands down. These pens, you can get them in big packs. Do so, and you will thank me. And I think that is about all. This is your vendor table in my living room, but it is what it is. It's honestly, like, I complain a lot about doing vendor tables and conventions just because people are rude and thoughtless to writers, especially. Like, I see people who sell really cool jewelry and stuff. They get treated better than us. They don't get people coming to their tables and saying, oh, I don't wear jewelry, but let me touch all your jewelry anyway. And it's just, but I love doing this. I love setting up a vendor table. I love sort of displaying all of my hard work. And I love interacting with interested people. I can't tell you how much I love interacting with interested people. So if you're new to this is a good place to start. But make sure to put your own spin on it and have a good time. So this is a short one today, but that'll be it for me today. I will be in Gettysburg this weekend with something like this table, selling my wares and hopefully meeting interesting people who are interested in books and want to talk. And that'll be it for me this week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.